Thank you for taking the time in the middle of a tour right now, it looks like.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we always got time. It's more just finding somewhere quiet to actually do stuff like this.
Right. Well, most people being in a successful band would be enough, but you have found success within the cannabis space outside of music. How long was it from going, we want to do this, to actually launching your first brand?
I've been trying to launch brands forever. Like I was in California and that's where I'm from and trying to launch brands, but like trying to be legal in California is just like not easy. And everyone I know that went legal in California is still struggling. I don't know, 3 or 4 years later. So I'm glad I left. You know, everybody that went legal just stayed on, on the dark side and just not because taxes, the bureaucracy of it all. It's kind of bullshit, honestly. So I've been trying to launch brands and answer the question like 3 or 4 years. And finally, within the last year, I was able to do a relaunch of Ramshead. And once I get that dialed, I'm going to bring back like the Dove and Grenade that we have. But it's just like, it's so hard to do legal cannabis that like right when you get to where you want, some shit happens or, they raise taxes or the laws change or something like terrible happens,
Right. So Dove Grenade was the original launching ground, or is that just the first one that came out?
I mean, that's what I was doing, but being on the black market, it's like it's a little bit harder to brand black market weed. There's a lot of inconsistencies, things go very wrong. So that was definitely the first one, but it's kind of morphed more into like a lifestyle brand. We sell clothes and lighters and hats, which is cool. It's like it's not so much like an actual like flower brand anymore. It's more of like a lifestyle like cannabis brand.
And is all that based out of Oklahoma?
I mean, for the most part, the flowers in Oklahoma, like the Dove and Grenade, we're from, LA, and it's like that's still where we do most of our stuff and photo shoots and have clothes and all that stuff. But the flowers in Oklahoma, I couldn't grow legal weed in California if my life depended on it. I could grow 100,000 pounds of illegal weed, but I can't get my hands on a license, and nor do I want to anymore. It's like if someone offered me a free license in California, which I think they're probably around $1 million in Southern California, someone said, "Here, you can have some free," I would turn it down.
What you're talking about sounds like the premise of Sylvester Stallone's new show, Tulsa King, on Paramount Plus. Has that ever hit your radar?
Everyone's talking about it. I haven't seen it. I live in Tulsa, but that shit seems kind of corny. It's like he walks into a dispensary, like talks a dude in the face, and I'll check it out eventually. But I heard it's like very over the top, like real, like campy and corny.
When you say over the top, because you're a fan of Stallone's Over the Top, the arm wrestling movie, correct?
Oh, I love Over the Top. It's funny because my band references Over the Top all the time, and people are like, "What the hell are you talking about? It's one of the greatest movies of all time. It defined my childhood. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I mean, winner takes it all, loser takes the fall. But Tulsa is a great, great city. I didn't realize that you were based there. And in recent years, we've seen them recruit a lot of artists to live out there. What brought you to Tulsa in the first place?
Well, originally it was a girl, and oh man, worst decision of my life. I'm just kidding. We're still together. Originally it was a girl, so I couldn't really vibe with Oklahoma. Being from LA, it was just too different for me. So, I was getting offered money to move out there, and I was doing a lot of flying back and forth. I've done a lot of consulting for other girls before because I know how to like build them and fix them and run them. So I went and, met this girl in Oklahoma City, and then she's like, "Oh, come visit me in Tulsa." The first time I went out there, I was like, "Wow, this place is amazing." It's like a lot of artists out there, a lot of live music, a lot of diversity. So I fell in love with Tulsa, and I was like, I didn't know a city like this existed. All my family from LA, they're coming to visit me, and all of them have like plans to move out there now, which kind of sucks for the local people because that's usually how it goes. Is everyone else ruins it, but they do a lot of recruiting. There's a program called Tulsa Remote. I think they'll pay someone like 10 grand to move out there.
Right. I found out that Danny Boy O'Connor from House of Pain, he's out there.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of people out there. So it's the kind of thing where it sounds like it's a secret artistic community where you're with your brethren, but it's not widely known by the people in LA.
Yeah, and it's getting there. It's going to be the next Nashville or Austin, everyone keeps saying. Leonardo DiCaprio filmed a movie out there with I think Robert De Niro, like Killers of the Flower Moon, something along those lines it's called. And Leonardo DiCaprio, he stayed out there way longer than he was supposed to because he loved it. He may have bought a house out there. Like Lana Del Rey's always out there. There's like a lot of people out there. They just keep it a secret.
Wow. Okay. So, hey, back to you and your brand. It's not taboo out there in Tulsa because it's a progressive city, right?
No, it's not taboo anywhere. You'd be surprised. There's more dispensaries in Oklahoma than there are like Subways or liquor stores. It's a little ridiculous. Oklahoma went a little too loosey-goosey on the licensing. Like if you had $2,500, you got a license, and everybody's like, oh, we're gonna get rich. It's a green rush, and it sucks because a lot of these people, hardworking people, dump their life savings into grows or dispensaries or just anything cannabis related, and they lost their asses. I'd say like 80% are out of business that originally started. So the state did like in my opinion, a massive cash grab. Like just give us money and we'll get a license, and they probably made Lord knows how much money, like over 100 million, I would guess, just on licensing fees and all that stuff. And then a lot of these people went out of business. There's too many,
For you, is the plan to just keep introducing more strains and sub brands of your overall dispensary and grow brand?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the name of the game. For me, it's like I hate strain hunting. Whatever's popular is that whatever rapper, drops in a song is what's popular, and then that shit changes. And it's very frustrating as a grower because, it's what I am by trade is I'm a grower. And it's like I find a strain that I like and I dial it in. I'm like, all right, now I know how to run this strain perfectly. Mm-hmm. I know how much water it likes, how much dryback it wants, and everything, and the environment. The next thing you know, nobody wants to buy it. Like, yo, do you got the new like designer runts? And then, next month it's yellow runts, and next month it's punk rock runts. I'm like, I can't keep up with this, like kudos to the guys who created those strains. That's awesome. But like, I can't be chasing other people, I need to do my own thing.
Were you a good science student growing up?
I didn't go to school. This was very shocking is people are like, how do you know all this? Cause I study like charts and graphs and, probably from being a music producer. Like that's just something I took interest in at a young age. And, when you're mixing and EQing and recording and the music programs, to someone else that could look like an alien spaceship control board, but I know I like understand all this stuff. So when I looked at like grow charts and graphs and drybacks and feeding, I was like, this is easy. The hard part is getting the environment to do what you want it to do. Just because you tell it to do something, 9 out of 10 times doesn't mean it's going to do that. So you got to be sitting on a ladder, like, changing the air conditioner, like putting a muffler over it to stop so much airflow, then wait an hour, you got to do that, for 3 days till you get it type stuff. So the actual science behind it to me is easy, but like getting in the room and actually doing what needs to be done. Like one of my people back in Tulsa, they were messing with an air conditioner for 3 days. And then finally it's like you put the fan on low, you cover the exhaust box with literally a plastic bag so it sucks a little bit harder, you change all the settings in the room, and finally it's doing what you wanted. But it took us 3 days to get it. I'm not there, so I have to like walk them through it. But I did not go to school. That's probably why I'm like sitting on a curb right now. I just am used to this.
Sitting on the curb, yet owning multiple businesses that are globally oriented. So I think you have the last laugh on that end. But speaking of combining those businesses, do you find that most of the people who enjoy your cannabis products are Hollywood Undead fans, or are they kind of separate from each other?
Definitely separate, because as of now, I can only sell, weed in Oklahoma. So does Hollywood Undead have fans in Oklahoma? Yes, but like a massive amount? No. So the weed speaks for itself. I never really tried to marry the two because I never like wanted to be like, get that leg up and be known like, oh, that guy grows shitty weed and people just know who his band is. You know what I mean? I never wanted that for myself. So it's like I became so obsessed with the process and science of growing that the weed speaks for itself. Like, almost everyone's like, yeah, you have the best weed I've ever smoked. But I'm like, well, it took me 10 years to get to this point. You know what I mean? It's not like I just like started in like my third harvest in. I'm like, yeah, look, I'm the best. Everyone thinks that at first, but they're definitely separate. So 10 out of 10 people who buy the weed that like I'm a part of growing are not Hollywood Undead fans, at least not yet,
At least not yet. I'm saying this as a diehard Van Halen fan. You're doing the exact opposite of Sammy Hagar, who's playing in front of the backdrop of Cabo Wabo and Sammy's Beach Bar Rum, and then handing out the drinks while on stage and talking about it in the songs, etc. It's interesting that you're keeping it totally separate.
I mean, we've touched on it here and there, and like eventually, but weed is still taboo. You know, it's like my band could get kicked off Facebook for making a weed post. So the world hasn't accepted it yet. It's funny you mentioned, I was like learning how to play Panama on the guitar the other day.
Oh,
My
really?
hand literally locked up because like it's the way like those dudes play is so crazy. Like my hand legit like locked up when I was playing Panama. I was like, this is insane. Like
Watching Super Bowl last night, I heard Panama in the fourth quarter. So I think that's one of those songs that's just going to live on forever.
Oh yeah, I mean, years later, like we're still on the bus, like singing it and playing it, you know.
Exactly. So my last question before I let you go, Hollywood Undead, more stuff coming up in 2023, 2024 that we should keep an eye on. You know, hey, this is not the Hollywood Undead interview, but hey, plug your stuff, please.
We are going to Europe again. We've been touring a lot with Papa Roach. It's been great. Like right now, we're on tour with Escape the Fate, Falling in Reverse with Papa Roach, and every night we're playing arenas. Most of them sold out.
Mhm.
So this summer we're going back to Europe, all the big festivals, the European festivals, a bunch of shows with Papa Roach again, and continue touring. It's hard because of COVID. Everybody hit the ground running. It's like there's a lot of competition right now. So literally, we're just going to keep chugging away at touring, hopefully for the rest of this year.
It's great to see you thriving in a few different unrelated industries. So keep it up and looking forward to what's to come from you.
I appreciate it, man.
Paltrocast.